Obesity is an epidemic in our society. 34 million adult Americans are obese, which is 30% over ideal weight. 108 million people are on diets in the United States. 80% of them are women. An average dieter makes 4 to 5 attempts to lose weight on an yearly basis. So what works and what doesn't? Let us meet our expert, Dr. Rosie Sandhu from Neem Med Spa, and find out what are her top 5 recommendations for weight loss. Dr. Sandhu, welcome.
Thank you for inviting me, Manju. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you. So give us your top 5 recommendations for weight loss.
Okay, it's no secret that losing weight is not easy, and most of the times, even after initial success, a lot of us, and I should say majority of us, will end up gaining the weight back. So really, it's understanding what's causing us to gain that weight in the first place, and then why are we not successful in sustaining it. So to keep it brief and short, I would suggest that, my first 5 steps towards it would be, number 1, you need to have a thorough physical evaluation from a doctor.
Absolutely.
And that is to see, is there any metabolic reason why you're gaining weight? As we know that some conditions like thyroid disorders and then hormonal disorders, as well as other endocrinologic problems, diabetes, will make you more prone to be gaining that weight. And it's a known fact, especially for women.
Yes.
Going through menopause, an average woman will gain about 15 to 20 pounds, which is really when the problem starts, especially with heart disease and diabetes.
Right.
And the first step is the weight gain.
Right.
So having that thorough evaluation with the doctor and making sure you don't have any underlying hormonal imbalances or thyroid disease or other metabolic conditions is the first step.
Right.
And the next step after you've established that there's really no other underlying condition will be getting a body composition analysis. And in today's day, there are multiple very advanced machines which can give you the complete biochemistry of your body, including your percentage fat composition, your water and muscle composition in the body, along with the desired range that you should have at your age and height, and your metabolic rate. And this is very important because when you find out what your basal metabolic rate is, it's really the amount of calories your body needs to do what it's supposed to do when you're not exercising. So whether you're just working out during the day, your digestion, circulation, everything, if an average man or woman's metabolic rate, let's say, is 1500, so that 1500 calorie is what you need to be eating per day in order not to gain that weight back. Most of us think, okay, I'm just eating 2000 calories, I should be fine. But no, if your BMR is only 1200, you are storing the rest of 800 calories as fat.
Sure.
And over time, this will just build on.
Yes.
So that's the next step. And if you go to a doctor or weight loss center, they can definitely do that for you.
Okay.
Now the next step, number 3, would be following a low-calorie diet. And these are for short intervals of time until you've lost that excess weight, and later on you start being on your maintenance calories.
Right.
And in that low-calorie diet, I would also include behavior modification in it.
Absolutely.
Because it's all in the mind.
Discipline.
It's all in the mind, yes. Because mostly, why do we eat? We eat when we are stressed. We eat when we are bored. We eat when we are happy.
Right.
So if we start channelizing those emotions in non-food related activities, I think we will be much better. So just reading articles, talking to your healthcare provider about what to do when those thoughts are coming in will be key.
Channelizing.
Absolutely. And then the low-calorie diet is anywhere between 800 to 1000 calories. And high-protein, low-carbohydrate diets. And there are different forms of diets. You can be on a ketogenic diet, you can be on a paleo diet, or a vegetarian diet. The idea is to cut back on the calorie count so that you can really lose that much weight.
And Indian diets typically are very high in carbs.
They sure are. So my suggestion to all my Indian friends and patients would be that you really need to cut back on the carbs. I tell my mom, who's a true Indian, that you don't need to eat bread at every meal. You can survive without eating bread and rice and pasta. You can absolutely do without it. Having said that, not that it's always going to be bad for you, but if your goal is to gain, to lose weight, then you really need to cut back on your carbs and go more on the protein content. And then, of course, the next step comes exercise, which is important, but not as much in the initial weight loss phase as you and I would think. I would never say exercising is not helpful. It's great for those, channelizing thoughts. If you wanted to really, if you felt like eating something and instead you go for a walk, then definitely it's a great thing. But if you were to lose weight, the first step has to be you cut back on your diet, you eat more frequent, shorter, and then just low-calorie meals, and then you have a healthy 20 to 30 minutes of some activity during the day. Be it just take your dog out for a walk or just go up and down the stairs a few times. That's very,
and the
very
Fitbit
important.
has become very popular now, right?
Yes, I think that should be
10,000 steps.
Absolutely, I'm a big fan of Fitbit myself. Absolutely.
Okay.
The fourth step is really medications, where your doctor will come in, and there definitely are FDA-approved medications which help with suppressing your appetite. Having said that, these are not your go-to medications. This should not be the first step, because these medications are no magic. First of all, these will be prescribed to people who are BMI 30 or higher, or 28 and higher if you have other medical conditions that you need it. Their medications are like phentermine and orlistat, and HCG is not FDA approved, but definitely gives good results for weight loss. But these medications are definitely a tool which you can use in combination if you're stuck, if you're, despite doing everything, you're not losing weight. And again, when we use these medications, our goal is to try them out for a month after a thorough physical and history taking, and making sure there are no contraindications. Like phentermine, you would never give to a bad hypertensive.
Absolutely.
Someone with high blood pressure should not be taking these medications. So make sure whatever you're doing is safe. And if you've not lost 5 to 10% of your weight in a month, then those medications are not being effective. But definitely it's a great choice and a great go-to for someone who's in a bad spot.
And a lot of centers are now giving all these herbal products, which are, and then with a lot of B complex vitamins. Do they work?
That's a relatively difficult question to answer. B complex and vitamin B12 definitely has a role. B12 would not directly help you lose weight, but then definitely B12 is very helpful in your metabolism. In our digestion and the metabolic system, we are utilizing these vitamins quite a lot. B12 in general is a great vitamin for your energy, for vitality, for aging, for your memory, and for immunity as well. So especially when you're on a restricted low-calorie diet, taking B12 is almost a must, and it definitely boosts up your metabolism. The herbal supplements are something that, there's no good trials on it. There's no good evidence whether they work or they don't. My suggestion will be to talk to somebody who's tried them and make sure there are no side effects to it. And then talk to your doctor before starting them to make sure they do not interact with any of the medications you can be having.
Are there any things in the diet that can help you stimulate your metabolism? There's a lot of talk about caffeine and green tea.
Yes, that's a great question, and definitely there actually are clinical studies where they've looked at green tea and how it helps with weight loss. In general, caffeine in any form like coffee and herbal teas, they help suppress your appetite. And since these are also diuretics, so you would be losing some water that way also. But again, everything has to be in moderation, because unlimited caffeine is not good for your body anyways. But green tea, yes, I would suggest that everybody should be having at least 1 to 2 cups of green tea in a day, and it's a great resource towards cutting back on your appetite and helping you lose weight.
Right.
Yes. And then lastly, the fifth tip I have today is the body contouring devices. And we are lucky to be at the age where technology is at its peak. So if you are somebody who is looking for a non-surgical solution to troublesome areas of the body, it's not going to be your solution if you have 50 to 100 pounds to lose. But if you are otherwise in good health and you are exercising and eating healthy, but are still not able to get rid of that bulge on your stomach, the cellulite which bothers all of us, or your arms or their areas in the body you want to be leaner, then we have technologies like RF again, or radio frequency. And radio frequency again is heating your subcutaneous fat to high temperatures at 42 to 45 degrees Celsius, heating the fat and melting it, and it permanently kills the fat cells. And ultimately the fat cells go to your lymphatics, and through your circulation your body gets rid of it. And these, you can easily lose 2 to 3 inches and up to 4 inches of fat from troublesome areas where otherwise it's really very hard to.
And how much do you lose from your pocket with this? So what does it cost?
Again, compared to surgical solutions, I would say not as much, but definitely it varies on how many areas you're treating.
Sure.
But I would say it ranges from 1,500 to 3,000. And normally with all these technologies, it's a series, you need about 4 to 6 treatments.
But it's more permanent, right?
It's definitely permanent. The fat lost will not come back. If you eat unhealthy, you can reaccumulate fat, but it's not that it's gone temporarily and it will come back.
Okay.
Yes. And then and the last solution, if you're overweight, and in fact if you're obese or morbidly obese, will be surgical treatments, which will be a topic in itself.
Right. So thank you so much. We look forward to your talk at the Health Expo.
Thank you for inviting me,
Thank
Manju.
you.